Hi everyone, and welcome again to Edu 596. Got it right that time. What I wanted to do is just take you for a trip around the landing page so you know how to find things. And if you've found this page, then I know you know how to find it. So we don't have to go through that information. But I just wanted to point out how things are organized. So, and especially if you haven't taken an EClass before, this may be helpful to you. Down this side, we have a list of all of the modules that are part of the course, as well as extra information that is in the on the EClass. And so you can go to this information if you wanted to open something quickly. So if you wanted to open module 3 quickly, you can just click this and it'll take you immediately to module 3. Or you can just scroll it and it does the same thing. But it's kind of a helpful resource. And if you want that to be open, you click this box with the 3 lines in it. And if you don't want that, you can close it up this way. So I'll close it for now because we don't need that information anymore. On the EClass page, we'll start with a welcome. So there's a video that welcomes you to Edu 596, where I tell you a little bit about myself. And apologies because I say welcome to 597, because sometimes this course is 597 and I forgot that it was 596 this year when I was making it, and I'd already done it about 3 times, so I left it. So I apologize. But you are in the right class. You are in 596, so no problem. And then there's getting to know your instructor, course information, and syllabus. So there's lots of good information here. And that's signaled by this kind of button right here. And when you hit the title, these tabs come up and they will take you to key information that you need to know about the course. So if you haven't gone through this yet, make sure that you do. One of the things that's here is about me. So I talk about 10 things about me, and some of you have already put in 10 things about yourself. About our online learning community, the syllabus and key dates, tips on accessing required readings, and so on. Let's go back then to the page. And here you'll find getting to know each other forum. And when you open up that, you'll notice that some people have already introduced themselves to others by sharing 10 things about themselves. And it's kind of a fun way to get to know one another and to learn something that you might not know. And the fun thing about this course is that usually you might have 1 or 2 other classmates that you've known from other courses, but lots of times you have other people in your class that you haven't worked with before. So in this course's case, it's really important for you to share your information with others so they get to know you a little bit, because they probably haven't met you before. And so that makes it a little bit more fun. Okay, so once we get, sometimes I do announcements, so they're going to show up here. Yeah, usually, however, I just email everybody, and that way you've got it in your email threads, and it's easier for you to access. You don't have to open up the EClass page to find out something. Then there's a list of key dates. These are important. They tell you when the modules start. They're weekly, so they always start on a Monday. They run from May the 9th right through till June the 15th. So that means we have extra days in our last module, which is good because it's a very busy module. And also you'll find that the assignments are listed with the date that they're due. So starting in module 3, for example, there's an extra assignment beyond the forum dates, and that will be the reflection thread analysis. And then we have an artifact video assignment and final paper. Here we have the submit your assignment section, and you'll notice all 5 forums. There's a forum for each module. And so they're here, but you don't have to do anything to these forums. I'll mention where you do the work. But here you don't need to do anything. These are just placeholders. So it just means that I can put your marks and everything into the grading machine thing for EClass, and that way you'll have all of your information together. You don't have to go all over the place to find your marks and comments and that sort of thing. Where you do need to submit here is for the reflection thread analysis, for the artifact video assignment, and for the final paper. If it says forum, you don't have to do anything. So this says artifact video forum, but you don't have to do anything here either. So if it says forum here, you don't need to do anything. If it says something else, then you do need to submit on here. Now, if you do submit on here, that doesn't matter. It just means that other students aren't going to see it. It would just be me that would see it. And because the point of a forum is that other students see your work, then it doesn't help very much if you put it here. But if you put it here as an extra, that's fine too. So also what you need to know is that for each of the assignments, there will be a PDF, and when you open that PDF, and I'm not going to do it now because my computer is being very slow and it will take forever, but when you open it, you will see a description of the assignment, and you also see the rubric for the assignment, so you'll know exactly what I'm going to be looking for, both in the description and in the rubric, and what kind of marks each aspect or each item in the rubric is worth. Okay, and that would be the same for all of the assignments. And with most of the assignments, by the time we get to them, there will be a video the week before that you'll be able to have a look at. Now it says on here, hidden from students, because I haven't checked these yet to make sure that they say everything that I want them to this year. So I may need to redo those, and I haven't had a chance to do that yet, because I've been busy redoing all the other videos because I've changed some of the readings. So that's what I've been busy doing lately. So I'll get to those in time for you, but just know that there will be a video that just talks more generally and in more detail about, well, I guess that's an oxymoron, but anyway, that talks about the assignment in a more fulsome way on the video, and it may answer some of your questions, and there will be one for each, for the reflection thread analysis, for the artifact video assignment, and for the final paper. Now, each of the modules is organized in the same way. I'm going to do module 2, however, because, well, I'll do module 1. Module 1 is a little different because you're going to do it in stages. So when you open up the tabs, you'll start with part 1. What does it tell you to say, and tell you to do rather, and you'll do it. And then you'll go to part 2. And what you'll notice when you open part 2 is there's a video here. And in each of the modules, there will be a teaching video, and you'll be able to find it somewhere. In this case, it's under defining gender teaching video. So just look for the words teaching video, and wherever that is, that's where you'll be able to open it up. And what it does is provide a kind of overview, as well as some of the detail around the readings and how they're interrelated with one another. So it gives you kind of a helicopter view of the module's readings, and then you'll do them in more detail in the forums and so on. So you'll also find here the required readings, and you'll notice that the titles are often in green, and if they are, then you can just open them that way. If they're not, then there will be an URL that's in green, and you can open them that way. Then there's the discussion forum, and here you will find a description of what you need to do in the forum. And if there's a question that's required, most cases there won't be, then that will be a part of this as well. And I'll explain why there won't be a question when we get to the next one. Recommended watching or recommended reading and watching, or whatever it happens to be, it is extra information that would be really helpful and would be worth taking some time to have a look at. I also promise in the video that I'll provide the genderbread little guide for you to have a look at. So it's here in this, and this would be the only place where you would find that. Let's look at module 2, however, because it's a little more usual. So in module 2, you're going to have instructor notes and the teaching video, and it will come up in a minute. And then you can open up the teaching video right from here. So read the instructor notes. It gives you kind of a bird's eye view of what's going to happen. Teaching video fleshes that out, and then you will then get into the readings, and that will, really add a great deal to your understanding of the concepts. Now, when you get to the required readings, they're listed here, and then we have the discussion forum, and it tells you again what you should be doing in the forum and the recommended reading. In this case, it's a reading, not a video. What I want you to note, however, is in Module 2 in the discussion forum, there are 4 groups, and what you will be doing, because, you know, I'm sure when you looked at those 4 readings, you thought, oh my gosh, I have to do 4 readings every week and comment on them. You know, I'm having a little bit of a heart palpitation, but that's not the case. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to become familiar with all of the 4 readings, like by, you know, reading the abstract, maybe having a quick look through the readings, but you will be assigned one. And here's where you will find out which one you've been assigned. So here it says Bruner, Stacy B. So the Bruner reading is going to be, Stacy Brower is going to be reading that, that particular reading, and then she will provide for the rest of her group a kind of a précis of what of the main ideas that reading provides. And kind of entice you at some point to have a look at a more in-depth look at that reading. So, and then each of you will be able to comment on. The idea is that in that forum, because each of you has a different reading, you'll be able to kind of cross-pollinate ideas around the readings that you've presented to your colleagues, and they'll be able to, and then you'll be able to comment back to them if they have questions, or if something they've said doesn't quite square with the reading that you've provided information about, and you can, you know, do that kind of enlightenment and that sort of thing. So there are 4 groups, and you'll notice in each case there's either 1 or 2 people that are assigned to a reading. I think there's only one case where, just because we have 17 in the group, so we have 2 people assigned to this group. You won't necessarily be assigned to the first or the second or the third reading each time. I'll mix it up from module to module, but this is where you'll find out what you're assigned, and I'll have those all done and ready for you over the next couple of days. So that's how you will find that information. And I think that's basically everything you need to know about how the modules are organized. If you have questions about using APA 7th edition, there's information here, and that would be helpful to you, because I know for some of you APA 7th edition may be new, so make sure that you have a look at that information if that's the case. Then in this side, there's just general information. For example, you can go right to the university website, and the Ask Us button is here. And, you know, our librarians are absolutely incredible. And if you have a question or you need some information, you don't know what keywords to use for a search or whatever, get in touch with them, and they're just magnificent. They'll find the answers for you if it's at all possible. So please feel free to use that information. And then we have a calendar. We have some a general idea of what's on the website, and then some activities that are coming up, announcements. If there's a new topic, then it'll be listed here, and then upcoming events, and the rest probably really isn't all that interesting, but this is the key part of the EClass that you need to know about. So I hope this has been helpful to you. Sorry to go on, but there's a lot buried in here, you know, and if you find any mistakes, we've tried to find every single one of them, because we do kind of move them from year to year, but then add or make deletions or, you know, all that kind of thing. So sometimes, because there's so many layers to this, sometimes we miss something. So if you see something that doesn't jive and just you're wondering about it, ask me about it, and I'm very happy to get that information so that I can correct it. And if you can't open a reading or something like that, let me know, and I'll be glad to help. So I hope, as I said, this is helpful, and I hope I'm really looking forward to getting to know each of you. And this course is always a lot of fun to teach, and we do have a lot of really interesting discussions. So I'm really looking forward to that. So take care, everyone.